has been incredible. Good afternoon everyone, myself Shikha from the Department of Botany. And today we know we all are gathered here to celebrate the National Science Day. The theme this year is Women in Science Catalyzing Vikasit Bharat. One of the earliest pioneers in India was Janaki Amma, a renowned botanist from the year 1930s and 1940s. Her discoveries and research in plant genetics and breeding add significant information to the agricultural scientists. And in the space field, the story of Kalpana Chawla inspires millions of people, from the small town in India to the vastness of space. And the India's history Mars orbital mission, popularly known as the Mangalyaan. The role of women scientists is crucial in that field. For example, Ritu Gadwal played a major role in the spacecraft autonomy. All these examples inspire millions of girls to believe that sky is not the limit, it is only the beginning. Now I move to my topic, telomeres, the molecular countdown clock. First of all, we will know what is telomere. All of us from the class of 12, we know telomeres as the ends of the chromosome that protects its ends. What is chromosome? It is nothing but the strands of DNA. So the ends are protected by telomeres. This is the centromere and this is the telomere at the end. In human being, it is the repetitive sequence of the nitrogenous bases, the nucleotides TTA, GGG. Main thing is the loss of telomere is the major cause of cellular aging. Now we will know how it leads to the discovery of telomere. And here comes the role of a model organism forms of the tetrahymena. How it played a very crucial role, and it leads to the Nobel Prize to the Australian scientist Elizabeth Blackburn. Elizabeth Blackburn won the Nobel Prize in the year 2009 for the discovery of telomere and the enzyme telomerase with her fellow students. Now the tetrahymena, the little eukaryotic organism. It is a single cell and it has the linear chromosomes. It has a large number of chromosomes, nearly around 20,000. So a lot of telomere because lots of chromosomes. That's why she chose the tetrahymena for her research purpose. We all know we start our life as a single cell. It becomes 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, and so on to a millions and billions of cells that makes the adult body. And some of the cells needs to divide repeatedly. Even when I am standing here before you, continuously the cells are being replenished. But when the cell divides, the telomere, the end of the telomere gets shortened every time the cell divides. We can see this is the telomere, and the sequence is TTAGGG in human. At the teenage, in the young stage, the length of the telomere is significantly larger, but at the adult age, it becomes shortened because a number of cell divisions has already happened. Now, if the cell division is happening every time and the end of the telomere is shortening, what is its consequences? How it is leading to aging loss? When the telomere ends shortened, think it like this: the protective plastic caps on your shoelace. It is protecting it from being worn out. Likewise, telomere is also protecting the chromosome. If the length of the telomere is shortened very significantly, then it will, and it is hollow, then it is no longer being protected. So it sends the signal that the DNA is damaged and there will be research was studied on that, conducted on the tetrahydrina. That the telomere of tetrahydrina never gets shortened after replication. Even sometimes the length of the telomeres increases. So, what is the thing or what is that enzyme that is replenishing the telomere? And Elizabeth, with her students, they conducted experiments and research, and they found out that the enzyme telomerase is responsible for protecting or replenishing the telomere. So, in human beings, as we age, the length of the telomere decreases, and this significantly shows the signs of aging and symptoms and increases the chances of getting the diseases. And we have, from now, we know that we have the telomere, and there is also telomerase, which protect the telomere. So, if we have enough of telomere and telomerase, then why we are getting older and older? If there is the telomerase, which have the capability to protect the telomere, then it should not come to the death of the cell. But this is not the case. This is not the case because if we indulge a lot of numbers of telomerase, then it will lead to the increase of certain deadly diseases like cancers. Because when there is a lot of telomerase, cell division is going on continuously, so it will lead to tumor cells or cancers. Here, the ends. This is the two strands of the chromosome. The one is the G strand, the other one is the C strand. The G strand generally overhang over the C strands. So, in order not to be recognized as a damage of the DNA, but not to be replenished, it forms a D loop, the displacement loop, and protected. Now, how we can keep ourselves healthy without getting the risk of getting affected by the cancers. One of the examples, several studies has been conducted where women they give care to their children suffering from a crucial critical condition, suffering from diseases without any help. They generally look old now. That's because their telomere is also old now. And because they have taken their challenge as a critical threat. And we can also see some women who take this same situation as a challenge and they hold the ability to overcome the challenge. So the length of their telomere remains intact. So we have the ability to control the length of our telomere and how we are getting older. We are down from the cellular level. But all the processes are not simple. The telomere, all the processes go in a systematic manner by some proteins, like the protein complex cell dividing protein. It contains 6 individual proteins, like the TRF1, TRF2, TRN1, TPP1, RGP1, POTY1. In this manner, all the proteins come together and continue their functions. These are the functions of telomere. It protects the chromosome end, it controls cell aging, it prevents the DNA degradation, it prevents chromosome fusion, it solves the replication problem and maintains the genomic stability. The ribosome, the telomerase. The telomerase that replenishes the telomere. It is a ribonucleoprotein. It is also known as the cellular immortalizing enzyme. It is highly present in some stem cells, epidermal cells, and the germ cells where repeated cell division is needed. The core enzyme of the telomerase is TERT and TERT. As we age, the protective catch telomere is shortened with cell divide, just like the bonding candle. but the length of the telomere in the human red blood cell is 8,000 base pair, and in adult it becomes 3,000 base pair, and at the time of the old age, only 1,500 are remaining. So this attrition of cellular senescence cause the DNA damage and eventually to the death of the cell. Now, if we have the ability to control our aging, it not only comes to the physical appearance or our environment, it also affects us in the cellular level. If there are some, if there are some neighborhoods who you cannot trust, then significantly the length of that telomere is also certain. So your home diet also affect the length of the telomere. So what all this is telling us? It's telling us that attitude matters. How we respond to the environment and your situations. Here we have discussed about everything. After a repeated number of divisions, the cells become senescent and die due to the loss of the telomere. And hence it is proved that telomere certainly function as the molecular clock and comes down to the end of the cell division. So the telomere science is telling us that how we are interconnected at the